Previously on Epic Wars from History. Britain and Spain hated each other passionately. Back then the Spanish coast guards were allowed to board British ships suspected of smuggling. He accused Jenkins of smuggling, tied him up and cut off his ear. So Jenkins walks in, whips out his pickled ear allegedly and goes, "They cut off my ear. Are we just gonna let them get away with this?" So boom. War was declared in 1739. After all that chaos, the war kinda just fizzled out and got swallowed up by a bigger war. While Britain and Spain were duking it out over a pickled ear, a royal death across the continent was about to plunge all of Europe into a much bigger fight. So you've just seen how one ear in a jar kicked off an entire war. But what if I told you, a woman inheriting a throne, legally mind you, almost destroyed all of Europe? Welcome to the War of Austrian Succession. A war full of betrayals, backstabbing allies, surprise invasions and one incredibly bold queen, Maria Theresa. This isn't just royal drama. It's Game of Thrones but with powdered wigs, cannons and questionable treaties. But before we jump into this madness, hit that like button, smash subscribe and ring that bell so you don't miss more wild stories from the past. Picture Europe in the early 1700s. It's a giant pressure cooker of fragile alliances and royal families all tangled together like a bowl of spaghetti. The Holy Roman Emperor Charles VI rules over Austria and a whole buffet of territories. Hungary, Bohemia, parts of Italy, the Netherlands, you name it. Problem? He's got no sons. So he issues the Pragmatic Sanction in 1713. A legal pretty please, asking all European powers to agree that his daughter, Maria Theresa, can inherit everything peacefully when he dies. And at first, everyone's like, "Sure Charles, whatever you say." They sign it. They shake hands. They toast with wine. But the second Charles kicks the bucket in 1740, everyone loses their minds. Maria Theresa, just 23 years old, suddenly finds herself sitting on the throne of the Habsburg Empire. Her father, Charles VI, is dead. The Pragmatic Sanction, his grand legal document that was supposed to guarantee her peaceful inheritance, might as well have been written on toilet paper. But Maria is not your average 18th century royal debutante. Well, maybe she is. But she's smart, sharp-tongued, and she's got zero patience for dudes in wigs telling her she can't rule. She's also a new mom. She literally just gave birth. And now she has to juggle diapers and diplomacy while half of Europe sharpens their swords. And those promises to support her go out the window immediately. Now let's talk about someone who proved to be a pain in Maria's, backside. Frederick II of Prussia, later known as Frederick the Great. He's young, newly crowned and looking to make a name for himself. He sees that Silesia, a rich, strategically valuable province on Austria's doorstep, is lightly defended. So what does he do? He's like, I'll take that thanks. And boom, he invades. It's fast. And it's the first domino in what will become a full-blown European meltdown. France sees Austria stumbling and practically leaps at the chance to stir the pot. Not because they care about Silesia or succession laws. No. Messing with the Habsburgs is just France's version of recreational fun. Oh, Austria's vulnerable? Say less. Bavaria, Austria's neighbor and low-key frenemy, claims they deserve the imperial crown and joins the free-for-all. Spain jumps in too, eyeing some tasty Italian territories, and Saxony joins the anti-Austria bandwagon for good measure. Meanwhile, across the channel, Britain, always ready to crash a European party, is like, well, we can't let France have all the fun. So they back Austria. Not because they're big fans of Maria Theresa but because they really hate France. So now the gloves are off. Europe turns into a giant bar fight with crowns. So now it's a full-on brawl. We've got Austria, Britain and the Dutch Republic versus France, Prussia, Spain, Bavaria and more drama than a soap opera. Frederick kicks things off with the Battle of Mollwitz in 1741. And let's be real, no one expects much. He's a new king untested in war. But surprise, he absolutely wrecks the Austrian army. So much so that his own cavalry panics and flees, leaving Frederick to casually ride off thinking he lost, until his infantry mops the floor with the Austrians behind him. But Maria Theresa doesn't back down. She rides to Hungary, makes an emotional speech to the nobles, basically says, "Help me defend my crown." And these hardcore Hungarian warriors yell, "For the Queen!" and send troops. Meanwhile in the West, the British and French are throwing hands in Flanders, Italy is chaos, and Spain is trying to grab more territory in Italy like it's Black Friday. The fighting spreads to the colonies too, North America, the Caribbean, India. If the planet had Wi-Fi back then, this would have been trending everywhere. Finally, after 8 years of fighting, dying and deal-breaking, Europe's like, you know what? We're tired. So in 1748, They signed the Treaty of Aix-la-Chapelle. What did it solve? Not much really. Frederick keeps Silesia. Maria Theresa keeps her throne, but she's not happy about losing such a rich territory. France and Britain basically hit pause, only to start fighting again in the 7 Years' War a few years later. It's like everyone agreed to take a coffee break before round 2.